picked up, and then what happened? Because I know, like, obviously,
Well,
how to do what you did.
I went into they took me to a county jail down in Florida, around Orlando, and I spent probably 2 or 3 weeks there, calling back and forth to find out with my lawyers, talking to my father about discovery, what was happening. It was just a complaint at that time. I wasn't indicted. We were waiting to see what the indictment looked like. And one mistake I made was, and it showed you where the lawyers, they're two in cahoots with the prosecutors, and it's not a good thing. It's not fair. It's a conflict of interest. Yeah. I should have asked for bail in Florida, because the judge in Florida knows nothing about the Colombo family. He's not interested in that. There was no violence. There was nothing in the complaint. Yeah. And I think he would have gave me bail. But my lawyers said, and probably because of something they had worked out with the prosecutors, have him shipped back to MCC and we'll do the bail hearing here, because I'm never going to make bail in front of a New York judge that heard about us for the last 10 years and they hate us. Well, my original judge took himself off and said he feels like an honorary member of the Colombo family after doing all these hearings.
Who was that, Glasser? Who was that? Do you remember?
No, that was Weinstein. And he said, in my eyes, you're all guilty, so I can't give you a fair trial. I mean, God bless him for that. And he took himself off. But anyway, while I'm in this county jail, I'm calling like my lawyers and my father. Finally, my father gets the indictment. I'll never forget what he told me. I said, so how bad is it? He says, well, they're blaming you for everything except Jimmy Hoffa.
Oh, man.
So I said, oh, God, all right. And then obviously when I got back there, you get in the shuttle back and forth from Otisville to MCC, and you have your court hearings and your lawyer visits. And I'm doing this for a year. And I've got, no plans. I'm going to figure a way out. I'm going to play to 17, 18, 20. They never came down from 25. Wow. But the first two guys to come in really couldn't hurt me too bad. So after 3-4 months, I'm fighting. I said, what are they going to do? They're going to have to give me the deal, because these guys, I did nothing with them. Then Carmine Sessa flips. He's a consul. Yeah, we reported direct to him. He's got a lot of info, but it's still only one guy. It's not going to be corroborated by anybody else. But then others start flipping. Before you know it, a captain, 2 other good fellas. Until it came out that my boss was bad, I knew I had no shot, nothing to live for in the life. And he actually, he threw me and Jimmy under the bus along with his oldest son, Gregory. So now when it came out, the government was a little interested in what information was out there about the corruption. And that's really what I had to offer, So I came in and, actually I think there were 2 cases that got blown up because of the corruption. Other guys were offered deals that they can live with. And I wound up getting, 10 years.
So what I understand is you were brought in to testify against the U.S., not necessarily the mob, correct?
No. I had to take the stand and I had to come clean about what I did. Okay. But basically, the only reason they opened the door for me was because of the corruption. They already had all the information. They had Greg, they had Carmine, they had captains. There's nothing I could have added.
Got it.
They already knew. As a matter of fact, when I was talking to them and I would tell them about the things I did, if I forgot something, they knew. I said, well, weren't you? I said, oh, my God, that's back in 79. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I just forgot. So they knew more, but they didn't know. Like I had the frequency, which is a top secret frequency between the detectives and the FBI to listen on the scanner to the FBI and the detectives. Oh, we had the 5-digit code. It's a top secret frequency. It could be any 5 numbers.
Yeah, that's not
and we had it. Greg had FBI badges and things like that. Sure. So we had so many things like that I knew about. There was an address that we got to find Vicarina, and it was the wrong address. But the only people to have the wrong address was the FBI agent that brought it, Greg, and the superior who turned out to be Greg's partner. So there was so many things like that that led them to who the corrupt person was, who ultimately was brought to trial in New York, but that trial got blown up also.
Well, that's what I don't get. That was, and I don't want to. We don't need another Italian American to go to jail, but Del Vecchio got off kind of scot free. Well, what happened in that trial?
Well, one of the witnesses against him was Linda, Greg's, Greg and my ex-girl, and Linda's ex-common law wife.
Yeah.
And she's probably the one that knew the most about him, because Greg told her a lot more than he told a lot of other people. You think you don't tell your wife everything, but he did. Yeah. And this is my opinion, only my opinion.
Yeah.
I think Linda, she had made this tape years ago with Jerry Capisi, years earlier.
Okay.
And saying that the Vecchio isn't bad. Now, all the information that his own agents got, plus what I brought to the table, what other people brought, it zeroed in on Lynn. She was protecting him at one point. The reason is, I believe, after Greg Sr. died, they kept her on the payroll. I think they kept, yeah, that's my opinion. She was getting subsistence, whatever the word is, and was able to survive. Once time ran out and they said, "Nah, enough is enough. We can't keep sending out $1,500 a month or